Down go the Tigers. Down go the Tigers. Let's get into it.
You are Locked On Vandy, your daily podcast on the Vanderbilt Commodores. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into this live edition, this post-game reaction edition of the Locked On Vandy podcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. I'm your host, Corey Burton. Thanks for joining. Thanks for making us part of your day. Beautiful announcement. Because of you, I've hit 1,000 subscriptions. I hit that this morning before the game. So I knew it was going to be a great day. So this episode, this reaction episode, is brought to you by FanDuel. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5. And if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Download the app today. Hopefully, you made your $5 bet on the Vanderbilt Commodores. Man, was that a game. Holy cow, that was a game. I mean, that's one of those games that you're sweating all the way through. That's one of those games where LSU's getting the breaks at, that one touchdown and, some of the other things that happen to them. And that's usually when you see the Vanderbilt of old fall apart. Well, this didn't happen. The Tigers were overmatched on the line of scrimmage. Diego Pavia and this offense decided, hey, we're going to run the ball. We're going to run the hell out of the ball. And there's nothing you can do about it. And they did, to the tune of 228 yards on the ground. Here's the recap. Here's the team stats. Might have to zoom in a little bit on this. However, 400 yards of total offense, 160 through the air, 240 on the ground. I wrote that down wrong in the background or on the set, but 35 minutes of possession. Holy cow. This game, and I called my shot yet again, and this game played out exactly how I said it should and would if Vanderbilt was going to win. They scored more points than I thought they were going to, but this game played out exactly the way it should have. I said Vanderbilt needs to control the clock, which they did. They need to control the line of scrimmage, which they did. 240 yards on the ground, 35 minutes of total possession. LSU couldn't get the ball. They didn't have the ball enough. And when they did, it was shaky. And they had to – the only reason they were in it was because of a couple explosive plays. They got field goals when they should have got touchdowns. Miscommunications down in the red zone led to a field goal on that one series where they finally got Vanderbilt to punt, and they got it all the way down to the half-yard line, get a false start, a couple of miscues. They have to kick a field goal. Like, those things have been the difference maker for LSU all along. And to those people that said I'm uninformed, this is what LSU has been. This is what I said they were. And if they were going to win this game, they would have to not be that. And that wasn't to be for this offense. That wasn't to be for this LSU offense. The tackles got destroyed all day long. Keanu Coote, Miles Capers were all over these tackles. It was unreal. And Nussmeier was running for his life most of the day. He was getting hit, battered. They had much more success on the ground, which I guess if you're LSU and you're looking for a positive, there you go. But they couldn't get anything going really sustainable and consistently. And it showed. And here's the stats again. Again, you may have to zoom in on this, but 400 yards of total offense against the defense that at 20 first downs too, that we were supposed to be shut down by. This Diego Pavia was not, going to struggle. It was going to struggle mightily. Was not going to do anything against this defense. They were going to shut him down, put him in a box like they did to Lenore Sellers. Now, when I said they had a little bit of trouble with Lenore Sellers and they had a couple of hiccups in the run game, 240 yards and Pavia being a magician and scoring 2 rushing touchdowns proved what those little problems were, and those little problems were exacerbated against LSU today. Yeah, South Carolina and Lenore Sellers was not good enough to take advantage of those mistakes. They couldn't get the yards, and they couldn't sustain the yards, and they couldn't do things consistently to do that. Vanderbilt did. That's why they scored 31, which is a season high against this LSU defense, right? LSU hadn't given up more than 24 points, more than 20 points, really, in any game they've played this year. Vanderbilt scores 31. Vanderbilt gets 400 yards of total offense, 240 of those on the ground. It's unreal. And they had no answers for Pavia. Like when Sellers was running around, the stat that jumped out, he traveled 800 and whatever yards, but only gained 22 of them forward rushing. Yeah, you can't, like, Pavia's, like, if that happened to Pavia, but guess what he did? He gained yards, he made plays, he made things happen where Lenora Sellers couldn't. That's the difference. And everybody hammering me all week. Thanks for the 40,000 views on that clip, by the way. And thank you for all those bookmarks. I'm wondering how that's going for you guys. Again, we are live, so I welcome your comments. How was the atmosphere at the stadium? What are your thoughts immediately on this game? Like, this was unreal. Like, I saw a team just methodically. Like, that wasn't one of those, like, oh gosh, they have to rally and get lucky and get fluky to win this game. That wasn't this game. This game was, Vandy was favored. They played like they were favored, and they went out and did what they had to do. Yeah, the defense gave up a couple of big plays. Defense, that first touchdown that LSU had was a great drive, great play call to Trades Green to score that touchdown. The fluky play where Garrett Nussmeier threw that knuckleball and he took it to the house. That play was, over pursuit, bad tackling, bam. But again, like, it was just emblematic of what this game was. LSU was desperate. They were playing desperately. They knew they couldn't stop Vanderbilt on the ground. The offensive line, give them, God, like, there should be millions of flowers. There should be millions of flowers tossed at the offensive line. They absolutely dominated LSU's front. Dominated them. And it was unbelievable. Like, 240 yards rushing, that was a statement for them, right? Because LSU hasn't given that up. LSU's defense has been extremely stout until today. Vanderbilt said, nah, we're good too, right? I haven't heard anything because I was preparing everything and I haven't heard anything yet. I imagine it just has to be where the guy stepped on his ankle and it probably was bumped and bruised and all that stuff. But that's what I anticipate. But I haven't heard anything because I obviously am not listening to Clark Lee's post-game comments and I haven't heard anything in that regard. So I'm going to keep my ears open for that too because I'm going to make sure that's noted. Great goal line stand. Yes. I mean, phenomenal. You have it at the 1-inch line and they jump. Like, that's how nervous they were. They jumped. They flinched. Like, if you're a top 10 team and you're so great, like you're supposed to be, you don't jump there. You punch that in, you go win the game if you're LSU. But Vandy said, no. Right? Hell yeah. Defense made stops when they needed to. That is absolutely true. They made a lot of stops all day long. It's just those few explosive plays just kind of marred a little bit of like what you see as a great day for the defense. It like makes it look a lot worse than it actually is. But my God, dude, like, that offense is explosive, and for them to hold them, let's bring back up the stats and all your comments, man. I'm loving all the comments. Let's bring back up the stats. They had 325 yards of total offense. Those were like when a hitter goes 4 for 4, but they can only capitalize off of like one of those hits. It's kind of like that. It's like, or like a team scatters 12 hits over the course of a game, or 15 hits or whatever a phenomenal number is in baseball, but nothing really amounts to it. They get close, but they're never really in control. That's what it felt like with this LSU offense. Like, they were close. Yeah, they put up great numbers, and the stats don't lie. They had 225 yards passing. They had 100 yards rushing. Yeah, those are decent. Like, the total number is pretty good. But, like, when you really look at it, they were never in control of that game. They never had control of that game, ever. And it was, that's the way it was. That's the way it went down. Vanderbilt never relinquished control. They couldn't get them off the field, LSU's defense. And that was the biggest story of this game. That was insane. Offense did really well versus a really good defense. Yeah, I would say that's an elite defense. They've been elite to this point. Like, they've been, They've been pretty elite to this point. Not today. Right? Anchor down. Love it, man. Love it. Big day for the tight ends. Absolutely. Cole Spence, him getting involved, some massive catches. I know it didn't amount to anything on that one where he laid out because they ended up having to punt on that drive. But for him to get them into third and medium with that catch and to give Richardson a chance to catch that dime, which was, that would have been so badass if he came down with that. Unfortunately didn't. We won the game. So not really a big deal. But yeah, Cole Spence had a monster day for his standards. Eli Stowers was finally back involved. Looking at the stats, they were the two leading receivers. Cole Spence, 5 catches, 56, and a tud. Eli Stowers, 3 catches for 32, which if you look at the stat line, it's not that massive of a day, but those 3 catches were in massive situations, if that makes sense. Like, that's just kind of like, that's not going to really, like, the things that he did, the catches that, especially that first catch he made, where he was just kind of like, it was kind of like over the shoulders, an awkward catch because the placement of the ball was kind of like right in center of him, and he had to kind of contort his body a little bit to make that catch. Like, that catch was impressive, and it was in a massive situation. So that's kind of where his impact was. Like, that was a chain mover. That was a get them down into the red zone type of play. And he was outstanding for us today in that regard. He drew a lot of attention from the defenders as well. Like, things that he does don't show up necessarily on the stat sheet. And that's kind of what they want from him. And that's kind of the impact that he's had on this offense. So I love that. And that 4th down conversion. It was a little bit of shaky of an idea. I was like, oh boy, we're going down swinging at least. Like, that was my mindset when they snapped the ball. And then the guy was in his face, and I was like, oh crap, he's about to get tackled for a massive loss here. Oh gosh. And then all of a sudden he just like flicks it over to I think it was Seti. I can't remember exactly who it was. Or no, it was MK Young, and he converts. I'm like, oh Jesus. Like, the magic that he had to have had. That play was emblematic of the struggles they had with Lenore Sellers. Lenore Sellers didn't put up the numbers, but like, that type of play Lenore Sellers couldn't make, where Diego Pavia did make. That was the biggest difference there. So I'm going to continue with this, but I'm going to take a quick break. We're going to continue reacting to this amazing takedown of a top 10 team, LSU. And we're going to continue on next. DoorDash. It is the weekend, not almost weekend. It's time to look back and crown this week's MVP on Who Delivered, powered by DoorDash. And just like you can win every Saturday with DoorDash Streaks, saving more every time you order, these players delivered when it mattered most. Let's break it down. For Vanderbilt, man, Diego Pavia delivered in a huge way. There was 2 massive plays that he made above the others that he made all day. It was the 4th down conversion late in the game where he had defenders in his face, and he somehow bought himself enough time to flick the ball over for a conversion. And then that last touchdown to make it 31, where the whole defense comes rushing around him and he steps up in the pocket and just takes off untouched to the end zone. Man, that was those 2 plays were outstanding. And if this thing continues the way it's going, that might have been his Heisman moment. But when the pressure was on, Diego Pavia came through, no hesitation, no delay. And if you've been watching week after week, this performance was not a fluke. Diego Pavia is on a streak. And just like Diego Pavia delivered for Vanderbilt, DoorDash delivers your Saturdays with DoorDash Streaks. You save every Saturday you order. Stack it up all season, and you could save up to $250, including $100 in DoorDash credits. Order this Saturday. Keep the streak alive. Fuel your game day only with DoorDash. Terms apply. Promo period good through November 18th. Also talking about SupplyHouse. When the opening whistle blows on a new repair, get your crew moving forward with SupplyHouse. Order today and see parts on your doorstep tomorrow. Over 280,000 plumbing, HVAC, and electrical items for the most trusted brands in the business. Their real-time inventory and honest lead times keep you from punting projects, while their industry-leading customer service always has your blind side covered. Need parts fast for a project? SupplyHouse has next day delivery. Talk about a game changer, man. The part finder tools, 3D schematics can save you hours on jobs where every detail matters. Their Trademaster perks like priority shipping and dedicated support make the whole process smoother. Join the free Trademaster program today. Score serious perks like priority shipping, lower prices, and a dedicated support line. So visit supplyhouse.com to sign up for free and use promo code SHCollege5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. Real people, real service. All right, thanks everybody for hanging on. We are live on this live post-game reaction here. LSU goes down go the Tigers. 31-24 is your final. Diego Pavia. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. And Clark Lee said it perfectly in the little post-game reaction on the field. Pavia is a dog. D-A-W-G, dog, right? And he played like it today. 14-22, 160, 86 yards on the ground, 3 total touchdowns, was an absolute magician out there. And honestly, the Pavia factor was real, man. And it's and I think honestly, the growth that you saw out there, it wasn't necessarily plays that he made, you know? And yes, it's a great day to be a dork, man. It really is, man. And yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you, man. It's time for us to get rid of Kelly. Yeah, he might be going up to he might do you guys a favor and go to Penn State so you don't have to pay him all that buyout money. So be hopeful for that. But the thing with Pavia is this. The growth that he had from last week to now wasn't in the plays that he made. He makes those plays all the time. That's him. That's who he is. He's a baller. He's a magician. He's a freaking dog. The plays that he didn't make was where the growth was. Because to sum up very simply, yes, he was smart with the ball today, right? There was a lot of times where last game against Bama, he forces those throws, but he throws them away. He pulls the ball down and gets, 2 yard, he gets a 1 yard, 2 yard gain, which is fine. He breaks, contain, and he just gets rid of it. Like those are the type of plays. Like on that first, I think on the field goal series, right before half, phenomenal series, right? Phenomenal series, setting up the field goal going into halftime. There was a couple plays where I thought, okay, Pavia's probably going to try to force one here to try to get the ball down the field. He didn't. He broke contain. He threw it away, right? He took the risk. The risks that he took were calculated. The risks that he took were smart. The things he did with the ball were smart. He made a lot of good decisions. Now, obviously, you're never going to be perfect on all your decisions, but he made a lot of good decisions. There were some zone reads, or if you want to nitpick, he could have pulled it where he gave it and vice versa. But I'm not going to nitpick. The guy played brilliantly. And, and with this offense, it's never going to be like overwhelming with stats. Like you're not going to see Diego Pavia 300 yards passing, 200 yards rush. Like you're not going to see those video game type numbers. That's not the way this offense operates. This offense, for what he did, was outstanding. And the poise that he had in the pocket. I mean, there was a play where they had a double edge blitz, corner and the edge guy, double blitz, both free. I mean, they had a clean shot at Pavia. He didn't even look at it. He just spun out and was able, I think he converted on that play, if I remember correctly. I'm not sure if he converted or if he got yards or whatever. But those guys, like, had this been last year or even like 2 weeks ago, he probably gets murdered on that play. You have 2 free rushers that he doesn't see. He feels the rush. Like this is his poise. This is who he can be. And this is who he is when he's not emotionally jacked up like he was last week. But he spins out just very, very with great poise, very under control, just spins out and goes and makes a play, right? And it's unbelievable. And the fact that Clark Lee went for it again on 4th and 1, after it was kind of a disaster right there before halftime, the fact that he did it again shows you how much he believes in Diego Pavia, how much like that was probably more of a fluke today than the second one. Like Pavia has just got this magic factor about him, and the guys play so freaking hard for him. It's unbelievable, right? And, if not for poor tackling, yeah, that is very true. Like poor tackling got them past 20. Like this game was well in control of Vanderbilt. You could tell they just didn't. They couldn't do it, right? Yeah, so that's great, man. I appreciate the love. Leave in the comments, man. Where do you coach, if you don't mind me asking? I coached in I've coached in Middle Tennessee, Blackman, Lebanon, and in Metro at James Lawson for the last few years. So let me know if you don't mind. I'd love to know where you coached and where you're at. I'll have to check out your channel too, man. I think I've seen it. I just didn't realize it was you. So thank you for the love, man. Yeah, we should have won by 3 touchdowns. Well, I mean, we could, woulda, shoulda, coulda this thing to death. I mean, yeah, we should have won by 3 touchdowns. That's how much control we had on the game. LSU's good. They're top 10. They were top 10 for a reason. I don't think LSU lost this game. I think Vanderbilt went out and beat them because LSU's good. LSU's good. Hey, by the way, we probably crossed paths at some point. So that's crazy, man. I love it. But going back to this comment, like we beat them, right? That wasn't a loss. LSU didn't lose. We went out and took that game, right? We went out and took that game. We were in control of that game the whole way. And that's how I see. I mean, yeah, we could have won by 3 touchdowns, but LSU, again, they were an elite. I mean, Nussmeier's an elite quarterback. He's banged up. The play calling was weird for them. Their offensive line was terrible. He was getting destroyed all day long. Every time he threw the ball, he was on the ground. So our defense did a good job of doing that. Now, I know it didn't show up at all times. There was a lot of completions that he made where he just got tattooed at the line of scrimmage. He got sandwiched between two tackles. He just got obliterated on a lot of plays. He hung in there and made those throws. That's an elite quarterback, right? And you should tip your cap to Garrett Nussmeier. This game is definitely not on him. I thought he made really good decisions. I thought he made some unbelievable plays after getting just annihilated. But this defense stepped up when it needed to. And and Diego Pavia took this game over, man. And again, I will reiterate the fact. Yeah, we could have won by 3 touchdowns. Maybe should have as much in control of that game as we were. But we had a firm grasp on that game. Maybe very briefly that I think, okay, we might be in a little bit of trouble here, but not more than, it's like every time we touch the ball, I'm like, we're just gonna march it, right? We only punted once. We didn't score. We didn't score on 2 possessions, and one of those was a kneel down at the 1-yard line. The other one was a punt. Those are the only 2 drives we scored points on every single drive that we had until the 1 punt and the kneel down. Think about that. Against LSU, who is a top 10 team. Just think about that for a minute. Marinate on that. We're going to come back and wrap up the show here in just a few minutes. Hey, but first I want to talk to you about Rugiet. What do you get when you have a bald eagle standing on top of a silverback gorilla riding a T-Rex? Any guesses? Confidence, of course, man. Pure confidence. And if you're looking for something beyond the usual pill, it's time to meet Rugiet Go Long. That's exactly where Rugiet's Go Long comes in. It's not just another ED pill. It's a total game changer for confidence. Go Long combines 2 doctor-trusted medications in 1 dual-action formula. And that's all she wrote, man. The effects can last up to 36 hours. That's confidence all day, all night, and even into the next day. The process is simple. You connect with a board-certified doctor, 100% online, and if prescribed, your treatment ships discreetly right to your door. So are you ready to level up your confidence in the bedroom? Head to rugiet.com and use promo code LOCKEDONCollege for 15% off your first order. That's rugiet.com, promo code LOCKEDONCollege. Make sure to use our code so they know that we sent you. And FanDuel. This will be a fun day on FanDuel because if you put any significant money on Vanderbilt to pull that game off, you're probably going home pretty happy. And hopefully all your bets win today. And if you're a new customer, hopefully your first $5 bet wins because you get $300 in bonus bets if that happens. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Now, what's fun about FanDuel is this. You have a lot of ways to bet. They have pre-made parlays for you. You can do same-game parlays. You can do the standard spread, money line, over-under. With NFL, you can do player props. I don't know if you can do college player props. I don't know if that's a thing. But it just, honestly, when you got a little bit of money on the action, it makes just watching football a lot more fun and a lot more exciting. So whether you're a casual fan or you're diving into the stats, FanDuel makes game day experience so much better. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. All right, wrapping up the show. We are live. It's a reaction show. Down go the Tigers. 31-24, your final. Again, thank you for all that you do out there in supporting this show. It means a lot to me. I hit 1,000 subscribers today, and that means the world to me, man. This show, it just means the show is growing, just like the Vanderbilt program, growing. Out of the ashes of that fateful day in Knoxville in November of 23, the overhaul was born. The show was born. I don't know if it's a coincidence, but we're growing, man. We might be a legitimate program now. Not might be. We are. Let me just say that. We are. We are a legitimate program. Not might be. No might be here. We are, man. And we're participating in NIL. We get it, man. Like Clark Lee, he gets it, man. Like, that dude is special. He's on the Penn State list. He ain't going to Penn State. Screw that. He's making this happen right here. He's going to turn this into a juggernaut. Why? Because he's from here. He's from here. His school, from like 7th grade on, was on the same road. I think he went to Birmingham Southern for a minute, so that doesn't necessarily make sense. But phenomenal job building this program for Clark Lee to get to this point to where we almost kind of expected to win that game. This wasn't one of those, oh my God, we're beating a top 10 team. Oh gosh. And everybody rushes down and storms the field. Like last year against Bama, that was not expected. This year, it's like, okay, isn't that a beautiful thing? Like, for this to be expected to happen. Like, you walk in there going, we're going to win this game. The pundits all around are like, Vanderbilt's going to win this game. Vandy's going to win this game. Like, a lot of people, not just me. Like, normally, like, before this point, I was like the wacko that was picking Vanderbilt. Nobody else was. Like, I called my shot many times, and everybody's like, you're crazy. You're a homer. You're whatever. Like, I get nasty comments. I mean, I don't know how much more I have to tell you. And Coach, you know more. You know just as much as I do. You see things probably very similar to me. I'm an offensive guy, so I don't know about you. I like the offensive side of the ball. I probably lean a little too heavily to the offensive side of the ball. That's just my nature. I'm an offensive coordinator by nature, so that's just what I naturally gravitate towards. But I mean, just the overall operation of this program led us to this point. The evaluation, the scouting, the nutrition, the strength program, the analyst, the breakdowns, the in-game adjustments, the buy-in from the players, the buy-in from the admin to say, hey, go do your thing in NIL. Go do your thing in the portal. We got you. Led us to this point. We're a legitimate program, guys. Get with it, man. This is going to be an exciting ride. 6-1 for the first time since, what was it, 19? Oh, God, I saw this stat on the broadcast. Someone help me out with the date. I can't remember the date. And I got a minute and a half left. I don't really want to look it up. But for the first time since 1948, I think is what it is, that Vanderbilt's 6-1. Holy cow. Pavia is a freaking magician, dude. And this is amazing. So I'm going to leave you guys with this. This team is putting the SEC on notice. They really are. I mean, that game right there was a statement to the rest of the league saying, hey, we're for real, dude. Like, we're going to make it happen. We are absolutely for real. And there's not a whole lot you can do about it. And this team is very, very, very special, right? Very special. and I'll leave you with this comment. It's a great day to be a door, but you know what day? It's a great day every day to be a Commodore. And I appreciate you guys so much on the show, the support that I get. Continue. Anytime opposing fans try to talk some trash in the comments, I love that you guys have been all over them. Especially Bama Week was phenomenal. The engagement you guys had with the opposing fans, man, it was great. So it's a great day for this podcast. It's a great day. And yes, anchor down, total team effort. The entire squad won this game. Everybody contributed in some way in a big, big manner. Junior Sherrill, I think, had one catch. I think he had one catch. 2 catches for 30 yards. But that first one was a conversion where he sidestepped a dude, made a guy miss, and ran down the sidelines. Like that type of thing, right? And that's what you get with this team. Like it's a total buy-in. Like the stats are never going to be there. You're never going to look at the stat book and go, oh my God, this guy's like leading the country. But you know what? This team leads the country, and they're going to want to lead the country in wins. 6-1, special day. Down goes LSU, 31-24. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. However you got here, keep coming back. Tell a friend, and we're going to continue this train right on down the tracks, man. And until next time, anchor down. Enjoy yourselves. Peace.